Hey, so I want to talk about Second Chronicles, chapter 7, verse 14. And it reads, "If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear them from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land." Now, a lot of Christians believe that this verse applies to the New Testament church, and I want to prove that it doesn't. Okay. Now, you know, the major issue with that is that in context, if you read Second Chronicles chapter 7, it's clearly talking about Israel, okay, and the land of Israel. And look, the New Testament church was not given any land by God, okay? You know who was given land by God here on earth? The nation of Israel. And in First Peter chapter 2, I think it was verse 11. Yeah. Peter's referring to the church as strangers and pilgrims. Why? Because we don't have any land, right? And obviously he's talking about the church because, you know, in the past we were not a people, but now we're the people of God and have obtained mercy. Okay. Now, I'm going to make another point, but let me reiterate the points I just made. Okay. In the context of Second Chronicles chapter 7, if you read the chapter, God's clearly referring to Israel, right? The physical nation of Israel. And it's talking about healing their land. And again, the New Testament church was not given a physical piece of land by God. And Second Chronicles chapter 7 is an Old Testament passage that was written before the New Testament church was even a thing, okay? So how could it possibly be talking to Christians? New Testament Christians. So, another thing, because, people who look at a verse like this, and this is one of the more popular verses for people to take out of context, but people who think this is talking about the church, most of them also believe that the church replaces Israel, okay? And, that's false. Look at Romans 11 to obviously see how false that is. But I want to make another point because if you were to say, well, it's talking about Israel, but now we're Israel, so this applies. Well, okay, then you would have to apply it to other stuff in the Old Testament that God says to Israel. And I'm going to give you an example just to show you how ridiculous it is to think that, the church becomes, the physical nation of Israel. So here's the book of Joshua, and it starts off, "Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel." Okay. And then later on, Joshua, tells the people, hey, we're going over, we're going to go possess the land which, God's given us to possess. Okay. So, if the church is Israel, right, then we're supposed to go, right, and go over, cross the Jordan River and go possess the land. And, that turns into dominionism and, and it also turned into the Crusades, okay? Because the Roman Catholic Church thought that they were Israel, and they try to take the Holy Land, because they believed in and still believe in replacement theology. Now again, if you believe in replacement theology, and you think that every time God in the Old Testament was talking, to the nation of Israel and giving them some sort of blessing, and you think that blessing applies to you, then are you going to cross the Jordan and, go take the Holy Land? Be careful how you answer. And if you do think you're supposed to take the Holy Land, you believe basically Roman Catholic doctrine. And that's an insane idea. Okay. Clearly, Joshua chapter 1 is talking to the nation of Israel, not the church, just as 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14 is talking to the church, or excuse me, talking to the nation of Israel, which is not the New Testament church. Okay.